Offside Sports continues on the Loft 100 Studios in Southern California, presented by Turtlebox Audio. Find their awesome lineup of portable speakers, turtleboxaudio.com. And thank you, as always, to Harry Arnett, Mark Wahlberg, and everybody at Municipal Clothing. Of course, Municipal, the official wardrobe sponsor of Offside Sports. Municipal, bet on yourself. Find them at municipal.com. We'll talk about the coaching carousel in the NFL and the fact that no African-American or coach of color was hired for the 10 openings that were available in the NFL. But, we're talking about media day and now the NFL has the opening night where the players and it's, fans can go to whatever arena it's being held in and they can see the players being interviewed. And you get all the jackwagons out there, the girl in the wedding dress, marry me, Tom Brady, all that crap. Well, my late Uncle Lou was still coaching with the Raiders, was lucky enough to win 2 Super Bowls with them. Media day for Super Bowl 11 in Pasadena was the media just showed up in a van and walked onto the field after practice and just interviewed a couple of guys. That was it. That was media day for the Super Bowl. And the post-game, they didn't go to a podium in the post-game. The post-game interviews were done as the players were drinking beer, smoking cigars, and you had a microphone up in their face.
It has come so far, right?
So far.
The game has come so far. That's why I know there are a lot of people that dislike Roger Goodell. Look,
Yeah.
the machine is going in the right direction.
Holy cow.
And so whether he gets $50 million or whatever, and you can complain, it's still the greatest reality show on TV. We say it every weekend.
Right.
We're hooked. I've watched every single game in the NFL at some point in the entire year. Always do. And it's fantastic. And people are complaining about the halftime show. Look, this is a marketing genius thing. We spoke about it on the set here about the goal is to get teams throughout the world. It's not just the United States. You saw the way they opened up. But Roger Goodell has done an outstanding job taking the vision that Pete Rozelle had where it's about television.
Yeah, and CJ, it's also about parity. It's, your team. I mean, as a Raider fan, I started the season thinking, yeah, they probably have a decent chance to get to the playoffs. Now, as we've quickly found out, like after, I don't know, a game, that was a total pipe dream.
Well, they won the first game.
They did, thank you. So that was awesome. But, we're not getting unless the Seahawks go on some sort of incredible run right here and they bank a couple Super Bowls. I don't know, Allison or CJ, if we are at the point now where we're not going to get a 49er Cowboy dynasty. We're not going to get a Chief dynasty. We're not going to get a run of teams that are able just to stack them. If it really is anybody's game each year to win.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
I think it's. Are we supposed to have a dynasty every decade? Because that's what it feels like we're getting.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like these coaches, like Pete Carroll comes in his first year, and you expect like this big change, but it doesn't really happen that
Laid
way.
an egg.
He gets kicked to the side.
Yeah.
At the end of the year. I think that a lot of the time these owners think like the grass is always greener on the other side, and I don't think that's always the case. I think a lot of it has to do with a coach's roster that he walks into and all of this, and it's not always going to change right away. Obviously, like a Pete Carroll might have done things that didn't get them to where they wanted to go. So yeah,
injuries play a huge factor. And
Sure.
every season, so it's a team that might look fantastic and then is decimated by injuries, like the Chiefs, the Chargers. I mean, there were teams that that couldn't stay healthy. So I mean, every year it changes. And to see a young coach like the Seahawks coach come in and be 38 years old,
Amazing,
and be able to do what he's doing, a no name really. It's fascinating.
It kind of leads us into the 10 coaching vacancies in the NFL this year, and all 10 have been filled. Officially, the Raiders will make it Clint Kubiak once the Super Bowl is over, because the NFL gets really pissed if you take away from anything that's not the game or the Seahawks or the New England Patriots. For those of you who don't know, the Rooney Rule in the NFL means that teams have to interview at least one. Do we say coach of color now, or is it 2?
2.
It is 2.
Two minorities.
Okay, 2 minorities. And for the longest time, God rest his soul, Dennis Green was the Rooney Rule box checker.
Yeah.
I mean, he just would go, yeah, I'll come interview. I know I'm going to get a first-class flight, or I'm going on your private jet. I have no chance of getting this job, but I'll let you use me as a box checker, get a weekend trip out of the team city. And for a while there was a point, I think it was 2022, we had 5 black head coaches in the NFL. And this year we've got D'Amico Ryans. We have, I had it written down, sorry, D'Amico Ryans. Aaron Glenn and Todd Bowles.
You also had Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris, who was just fired. And now is the defensive coordinator with the 49ers. Obviously, Mike Tomlin with the Steelers, he stepped down. Is it legit still from people or men of color saying we're not getting the shots that everybody else is getting?
I think the discussion's always going to be there. I mean, it was like that in Major League Baseball for the longest time. And Jackie Robinson was criticized as a baseball player that once he was established that he would speak more and more out about it.
Okay.
And he would say, until we see a coach in the third base box, basically my fight's not over. And people with Major League Baseball were very upset with Jackie Robinson at the end because he held a lot in to get to where he was.
Sure.
And had to. And it got to the point where it says, well, I now have, basically a position where I can stand on and my career is almost over. But the way it was spoken about Jackie Robinson today to when Jackie Robinson at the end of his career, people weren't very happy with him because he wanted to change things and to say he was wrong. No, he wasn't wrong. Jackie Robinson in 1947 playing for the Dodgers was the best thing people will say for sports. It's ridiculous that, I know we're jumping topics, but the Yankees had a chance for an outfield of Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Mickey Mantle. They knew who those guys were, but they didn't sign them for a reason. Sure. We all knew. So in football, what made the Rooney Rule work was Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Here was a guy that wasn't supposed to get the job. It was supposed to be, a BS interview, and he wowed everybody, and he got the job, right? And then he won a Super Bowl, and then he had a winning season every year he was head coach. But I think what it comes down to, if you're an owner of a team or you run a business, is my team, my business doing well? And when the coaches you mentioned in 2022, and they all got fired at the same time, none of them made the postseason. And as a fan base, you're like, man, my team has to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't care. And there's your fan base, I don't care if you're purple with pink polka dots. Are you getting my team to the CGA? Are you getting my team to the playoffs? I have racked my brain to think of, okay, how do you make it more equitable for a person of color to become a head coach? And unless the NFL passes a rule that says every third or fourth new head coach on your team has to be a person of color, I don't know if this ever improves in the National Football League.
Yeah, I don't know how to make it better. To your guys' point, you think of like a Vance Joseph, who's like a hot name, who a person of color that
Sure.
potentially could, and he went 11-21 in his 2 years with the Broncos. So you're always looking for a guy who's qualified,
yeah,
and has winning potential, and he's just one specific example. So you're always just trying to find the most qualified. I'm sorry, what was your question?
Well, it's just what the NFL can do unless they literally step in and make a rule that, okay, you've had 3 head coaches now. This next one, it's got to be person of color. Sorry.
Yeah.
See how ridiculous it is?
Right.
I feel foolish saying it, but how do you change it unless you get super drastic?
I mean, it sounds like they've put in the rule with the Rooney Rule, which is unbelievable. What was his name? Dennis Green?
Yeah.
The things is incredible.
Well, he was the guy, and he just kind of said, yeah, I'll interview for the job.
And he won a lot. He was an assistant coach of the 49ers and
totally
won a ton.
Yeah, he came from the Bill Walsh tree.
Yes.
And I think someone like Mike Tomlin, who has been such a successful coach,
Yeah.
I think he'll be back at it. I think he wanted a year off.
Right.
I mean, I think somebody would snap him up in a second. At least I hope so.
If the Raiders had told me we're going to be crap another season to get Mike Tomlin, I would have said, I'll live with 0-16. I'd take Mike Tomlin in my book is a blank check coach. How much you want us to pay you? That's how much I believe in.
Totally agree.
As somebody. Eric Bieniemy, though, that's the one guy. He and Andy Reid. It wasn't just Andy Reid at that offense with the Chiefs.
I don't know about
Eric Bieniemy. You think it was Andy Reid?
100%. Because
Really?
Eric Bieniemy went to Washington, stunk. Went to UCLA, stunk. I'm not an Eric Bieniemy fan at all.
And
Do you
I have
think
a personal story with Eric Bieniemy. That's why I'm not a fan.
There we go.
But
You got
I
beef.
do believe Andy Reid had success when Bieniemy wasn't there. But I'll go back about 35 years ago. Eric Bieniemy tried to fight me, and I haven't gotten over it. True story. True story.
I love when he's mad.
So bitter.
He's such a grudge holder.
Not rooting for him.
Do you think he's just a bad interview? Because he
Bad guy. What are you talking about? I just told you he tried to fight me. Back in '92.
How
Still
upset?
upset.
We got
Not
one
over
minute.
it. People don't forget.
Was this when you were when he was playing with the Chargers?
Yes, when he was with the Chargers.
Oh my God! What did you ask him?
I had a job delivering tape, sports tape. You know the tape you wrap on your
Yeah.
wrist. And for some reason, he just wanted to fight. I have no idea why. I wasn't even in media at the time. I was just delivering tape.
Oh, Dave, you poor man. I'm
know.
so sorry.
Not over it.
That is, you know what?
Sorry.
You fighting professional athletes is a whole show.
Yeah.
We got to do it one
That has
day.
happened. I've got.
A huge shout for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and the theories on why are swirling. And also, are you dropping some coin on the Super Bowl? Wait until you hear how much we will bet on the game legally. We'll tell you next as Offside Sports rolls on right after this.